wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Grant GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to WrestleRant Radio here today for May 22nd, 2025. We are on the eve of quite a few wrestling shows coming up this weekend, all of which we're going to be getting into, offering our preview, picks, and predictions for everything coming up this weekend from AEW, WWE, NXT, and so much more. There's a lot to get into, but first, let's get to Mr. Marceau. He's here joining me as well. As always, Mr. Marceau, brother, what's going on?
Doing good. How are you?
I am doing well. The only thing I'm more excited for than this weekend's wrestling shows are two things. Lilo and Stitch coming out tomorrow. Super pumped for that. I assume you're seeing it this weekend or at some point soon.
We are going, I believe, when is it? Let me check my schedule. I think if it's not next weekend, it's the weekend after.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going the weekend of the 8th. I have to work next weekend, so I think I'm going the 8th.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. Hey, got to be seen on the sooner side, avoid spoilers, and it's going to be a great movie, I think. I mean,
spoilers? The same movie as the first one. What do you mean?
There are changes from the original that I'm not happy
I know,
about.
I saw you crying on Twitter.
Yeah, no, listen, there's going to be a lot of crying. I'm going to go see the movie, crying for good and for bad after I see the movie. Anything they drastically change, I will certainly complain about here on the show, just in general. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, no, that's coming up. And honestly, you're probably making the right choice by waiting to see it, because this weekend, especially with it being Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be fucking terrible. Like, I didn't see Minecraft when it came out. I saw it after the fact. But those theaters were like the whole chicken jockey thing. I don't know, that's below my pay grade or above my pay grade. You don't know about the whole chicken jockey thing?
I didn't see the movie, honestly. I don't really know what you're talking about either. I will say I talked to my sister and Dennis the other day, and they said that it was one of the worst movies they've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, it was absolute garbage.
And the kids were like, it was great. I'm like, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, no, if the kids liked it, that means it was definitely terrible. So, I mean, it was fun to make fun of, I'll tell you that much. It was certainly a good movie to make fun of. I think Lilo and Stitch will be much better. But the only thing I'm more excited for than Lilo and Stitch in the shows this weekend is Pacers-Knicks, who's going over in the end of the NBA East Conference Finals. Because you come to me for sports coverage. It's, of course, my forte.
I hope Pacers. I don't really like the Knicks. I can't stand like half the guys on their team. It's nothing to do with the Celtics. I don't really care about the Celtics either. But I'm going to go with Pacers. I like Haliburton. I hope he goes over. I mean, He pulled it out last night. Did the Reggie Miller choke. I mean, it was great. Point at Reggie Miller after he did it. I mean, I wish it kind of was like he actually hit the three. Would have been even better if it didn't go to overtime. But no, I'm going with the Pacers going over.
All right. I guess I'll go with the Knicks just for the simple sake of switching it up. I got Knicks fever, but I also got Pacers fever too. I just see everyone talking about it and this big feud between Brunson and Haliburton. I'm all on board, baby. I saw the My Way video package that someone made. It's fucking cool. So, I honestly, personally, I'll ask you this before we get going here in a second, and shout out to everyone joining us live, commenting in. I'll get to that just momentarily. But what were your thoughts before we start getting to the predictions on the Haliburton segment from Raw this week? Because that kind of created not a lot of controversy or a buzz, but in the sense that, wrestling fans probably, a lot of them don't give a shit about the whole stuff going on right now with Haliburton and WWE. Obviously acknowledging the interaction that him and Brunson had on SmackDown last year that I was actually there for at MSG last summer. And they want to capitalize on it, and Haliburton's a WWE fan, so they had him on Raw. I thought it was totally fine. They announced him for 2K25. It was a segment I didn't really care about, but it didn't really bother me, I guess. And I could see why they did it. What were your thoughts on seeing Haliburton on Raw this week in the form that they kind of ended up bringing him in for?
No, I think like you said, kind of capitalize on. I guess they planned the seeds. It's booked. They booked it already. The Haliburton Brunson Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, I think it's good to capitalize on bigger celebrities that are fans and get them involved. So especially with how big it is now, the Eastern Conference Finals, Haliburton happens to be in against Brunson. They had him on SmackDown.
Yep.
He's going to be in the game. I mean, I think you kind of have to hit those things, kind of just show that, like, outside of the wrestling bubble, there are bigger celebrities that are fans as well.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. He's at least a fan. So the fact they had him on the show doesn't really bother me. And I think a lot of people may not give a shit overly about that sort of stuff. But, I mean, listen, they're capitalizing on it. And like you said, they Triple H claimed to have wrote it himself. They wrote what we're seeing now because sports are fake, sports are fixed. Wrestling is real. Don't forget that.
You can't challenge someone to an Eastern Conference Finals match.
Can't challenge someone to an Eastern Conference Finals the same way you can't challenge someone to a Money in the Bank ladder match or Elimination Chamber. We're going to get into all that stuff with Money in the Bank and whatnot. I mean, we're saving that for a couple of weeks down the road. But a lot of other shows coming up down the pike. First, Saturday night's main event on Saturday, NXT Battleground on Sunday, as well as AEW Double or Nothing coming up on Sunday night as well, actually. They're going to be running opposite of each other this coming weekend. So we'll get into all of that momentarily. Do want to shout out Johnny, Alexis, Ahmed, all joining us in the chat. Johnny actually asked a little bit earlier on, what would be, for a question for both of us, of the matches that come to mind, what would be your match of the weekend? What match do you think will go down this weekend as being the best of the 3 shows, the 2 shows, whatever comes to mind for you?
I love, like, just throw me on the spot. That's a good question. I mean, Sunday, Knicks, Pacers, game 3. I mean, I think that might be the match of the weekend, right?
There you go. I think so. That's got to be the match.
But all serious note, it's a great question. I mean, I honestly couldn't even tell you what's going on at Double or Nothing besides Anarchy in the Arena.
Your favorite match, of course.
My favorite match of all time. It's a great question. I mean, I think what's his face? Seth, Bron, Sammy, and Punk is probably the one I'm probably looking most forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I don't really know what's going on in AEW, and I think Battlegrounds, like Oba Femi and the guy from the No Quarters Catch Crew. I might be making that up, but
yeah, no, you're right.
Pulling out my rear end. But I think also Grace is facing Stephanie.
Oh yeah, that honestly could be the match of the weekend.
I think that, you know what, I'll go with that match. Actual match, Stephanie versus Jordan Grace.
Yeah, all right. That should be a great match. I think the WWE match of the weekend could be Grace and Stephanie. I agree with Grunt. First of all, Grunt, thanks for joining. He said Paige and Ospreay. That's the finals of the men's Owen Hart Cup. I think that could end up being the match of the weekend as well. I don't know if that's the main event. I only just finished watching Dynamite a little while ago, and they made a comment about how they want that match to close. I would be very surprised if that was the end of the show. They typically close with Anarchy in the Arena, which I'm personally not a fan of. I had mentioned that many, many times before, but I'll get into that later on. But yeah, Grayson, Stephanie, Ospreay, and Paige, two good picks for sure. Johnny had also said earlier on, as a New Yorker, the Knicks winning in 6 games. That's his prediction. But he also said, but the Oklahoma City Thunder finishing their story in June. We were talking about the Thunder right before we hit live here, actually, and they're going to be finishing their story the same way that Cody Rhodes did at WrestleMania 40. Johnny also said WWE should have a basketball hardcore match. The closest that WWE had to a basketball match, 2 actual instances. One, when they did the Denver Nuggets and the Lakers 10-man tag team match on Raw, and they had to be bumped out of the Staples Center, and Vince went up against Cronkite or whatever the fuck it was. This was like Raw 09. Cronkite. I'm talking like the fucking journalist. Yeah, Cronky. Yeah, Cronky. Is that his name? Cronky?
Dan Cronky, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was back in 2009. That, and then they also had Matt Hardy and MVP, I think, face each other in a basketball game, like when they were doing all those contests with each other back in 07. It's probably the closest that we've gotten to basketball in WWE. Ahmed also joining in. No L said, in your honest opinion, guys, do you see Roxanne Perez winning the Money in the Bank? Good question. Mr. Marceau, I'll throw that one to you as a Roxanne Perez fan, as I am. Do you think she qualified on Monday? Do you think she wins Money in the Bank?
I mean, she qualified Monday, so I guess she has a 1 in 6 chance to win at this rate. But I mean, I would have to obviously see the rest of the field. I think it's so far her, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think she it would be good for her. I mean, like I said, I'd also have to see who else is in the field. I mean, if Julia's in there or another person. I always say this for Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble. I believe it should be someone that's not won the main championship. I mean,
yeah,
you use that to then catapult yourself to winning a championship. So, I mean, Alexa Bliss has already won the belt a few times. I think she's more for like, she can beat like Zelina Vega for the U.S. title if you want me to be honest. Rhea Ripley, she doesn't, I mean, I thought she was facing Io, but I guess she'll be in this match.
Yep.
No need for her to win. Roxanne makes sense. Charlotte, Julie, and Zelina Vega are wrestling on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Charlotte has Charlotte in the bank, so she doesn't need to win it. Zelina is already a champion, no need. And Julia, yeah, and then that's all that's been announced. But out of people announced, I would say Roxanne. I mean, I think it makes sense. She was on Raw this week. She won a match, teasing some kind of involvement with the Judgment Day. So clearly there's some kind of plan. So I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, no, those are, you mentioned all the qualifiers too. That's I'm glad you kind of answered my next question for you. Who else you see qualifying? Most of the women are set. They also said Jade might be in a qualifier at some point. Naomi's my pick to win the women's Money in the Bank. I've said that before. I would love to see her win it. Not that this is her last chance, but she's been around forever. I know she's mentioned before she wants to become a mom at some point soon. Like, she may not be around for much longer, and I'm really liking her heel run. Naomi.
Okay.
I'm liking her heel run right now, so I would have her win. But honestly, if it was Roxanne, I would love to see it. Julia would love to see it. Charlotte, like you said, will probably qualify, but she has Charlotte in the bank. So what's the point of her winning the actual briefcase?
Yeah, I mean, with Naomi, I feel like she's already teasing going after Tiffany. So it's like, I mean, I guess you could get there as well, but.
Yeah, good point. Good point. A couple different options. I think the men is kind of up in the air as well. I really would not have it be Rhea Ripley. I know we're getting Rhea and Io at some point, and having Rhea win the briefcase could set up Rhea becoming Miss Money in the Bank and then cashing in that way, announcing it in advance. That would be a complete waste of the briefcase. She's never won it before, but she's already been women's champion 4 or 5 times. She can earn a title shot without even she's earned title shots without even winning Money in the Bank or the Rumble and stuff like that. Although she has won the Rumble before. Yeah, I would not have Rhea Ripley win. I'm fine with her being in it. Honestly, I like the match on Monday. Best of luck to Zoe Stark on her road to recovery. That injury was disgusting, dude. That was a Psycho Sid type injury. That was gross. I didn't even catch it initially either. I was looking away, and then I saw her, like, holding her knee after the fact. I'm like, okay. And then they, like, awkwardly cut to commercial. I'm like, okay, this has got to be real. This surely cannot be part of the match. Then they came back, and she wasn't there. Then I saw the footage on Twitter after the fact. I'm like, man, that was fucking gross. So best of luck to her on her road to recovery.
Definitely not good. It was definitely a blown knee and then some. I mean, definitely a rough spot.
Yeah, and not only that, too, I mean, terrible luck, dude. She has literally been off the show for almost the entirety of 2025. And I'm not even sitting here complaining, oh, we need more Zoe Stark on the show. I think she's a very good wrestler. She hasn't really clicked personality-wise. The whole PFC thing was just a failure, obviously. Sonya Deville got cut. Her contract wasn't renewed. Shayna got cut recently. That left Zoe. Zoe has not been on the show probably since the Rumble. She may have had one other match recently beyond that, but she really has not been on the show at all. And then she gets hurt in her first match back, so that sucks. Great to see Kairi Sane back, though. She got pinned on Monday by Rhea Ripley. Wanted her in Money in the Bank. It's okay. I am glad Kairi Sane is back. Damage Control is indeed dead. I think we could just outright say that right now. Damage Control has been, I mean, really it's been dead for a few years now, but like it's officially dead as far as the faction is no more. So that is Money in the Bank, but we'll get into Money in the Bank as it gets closer in the coming weeks. But yeah, Grunt said it is in fact the main event. Ospreay and Paige, I think you're referring to. I think so. I mean, they said that on Dynamite last night, so I would think it's the main event, but I hope it is because I'm much more excited for that match than Anarchy in the Arena, which is just typically, in my opinion, a mess. AJ Watson said, well, John Cena's heel turn go out as the worst in his run. No matter how much fans didn't like his superhero gimmick, he played it for so long that we became accustomed to it in his later years. Well, a couple things. One, he wasn't, I mean, yeah, he's been Superman, quote unquote, for the last 20 years, but he really hasn't been the Super Cena in the last maybe 10 years. He's lost a lot of fucking matches. I mean, up until Elimination Chamber, he hadn't won a match on pay-per-view since 2018. So he really wasn't the Superman anymore. And then second of all, it wasn't that we became accustomed to it. It was more so like absence makes the heart grow fonder, and people just started to respect Cena more. You know, as he starts to wind down, the nostalgia kind of comes into play. But, I mean, to answer his question, will this heel turn go down as one of his worst runs in his entire career? I mean, it's only in its early stages. It's been 3 months. I don't want to defend them too much, but it is certainly one of the worst things he's done in the last 10, 15 years. I will say that much. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, besides like just like his initial debut, I don't really know what else you'd kind of put it against. I mean,
Yeah.
he had a pretty long run, heel face. I mean, his like initial heel run that like made him what he is was obviously, and then his babyface run to pretty much Super Cena to then not being around to this. I mean, I would say besides his debut persona, it'd be up there with probably the worst of his career. It's just the heel stuff's just terrible.
The promos are just bad, man. They're just bad. And I think the matches, and I say the matches, he's only had 2 matches, the Mania match and the Backlash match. I like the Backlash match a lot, actually, a lot more than I thought I would. The Mania match, we can all unanimously agree, that match sucked. That match was not good to the Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So we'll see what Saturday brings. It's a non-title match with R-Truth. We'll talk about it. I might have a bit of a surprising pick for that one, so we'll get to that momentarily. Grunt said, I'm not going to complain about Moxley not ending another AEW pay-per-view. I agree. I don't need that Death Rider shit closing out yet another AEW pay-per-view.
Sometimes that fool's just going to get over at 1 a.m. or...
Yeah, dude, literally last year, I think the Death Riders, Black Bull Combat Club, whoever was in the match last year, the match ended at like 12:30, and it started at 8. I mean, not the match. It felt like it was 4.5 hours long, but the show itself was like 4.5 hours long. I will say this. The card that I'll go through later on for Double or Nothing is only 8 matches. And I know like that sounds like a lot compared to WWE, but typically they're like fucking 14. Isn't that like, that's crazy? They're probably going to add another 6.
Every match is 20 minutes plus. I mean, that's at least 4 hours.
Yes, but they usually, correct, but usually they have every match go 20 minutes anyway, and there's 10 or 12 matches. So the fact that there's 8 matches and they're still going 20, yeah, it will be 4 hours, but it's better than 5 hours because they've gone 4.5 hours before, or 5 if you include the pre-show, which is pretty.
Yeah, just send me the cliff notes. I'll be watching the NASCAR race.
Oh, the NASCAR race is on Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. What time does that start? In the afternoon, the evening time?
6 o'clock.
Is what's his name? Ryan Preece racing in that one?
Yes.
You know, I will say this. I think he did well last time. I don't think he won, but he came in like 2nd or 3rd, and he was winning for most of it, Alexis said. I didn't watch it, but that's what she told me.
Yeah, he got disqualified, though. His car didn't pass tech at the end of the race.
He got DQ'd.
Cheating.
Wow, DQ. Alexis, I'm sure, is listening right now. Your cousin's a cheater. Noel said, I told you, Graham, Charlotte has her Charlotte in the bank. Yeah, no, Mr. Marceau brought that up. I agree. They also said, I didn't even see the Zoe Stark injury, and then I saw the replay. Jesus, that injury was nasty. It was Sid level. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was Sid level, and then Dillon said to me the other day, not Chubbs. I think I'm thinking of fucking Happy Gilmore. It was a football injury. And he goes, yeah, that one was way worse. He was telling me about it yesterday.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb? Is that what it was?
Nick Chubb's his name. Yeah, he's running back. He like something, it looked similar to that. Yeah, like same kind of thing. Like someone like hit him low. His knee like went like pretty much the same way as Zoe Starks. He like blew out like everything in his neck.
That's so gross. I mean, honestly, between wrestling, football, and the UFC, you've probably seen a lot of gross-ass injuries. Like, I didn't see the actual fight, but I saw the injury a few years ago where that guy did a shin kick or something, and his leg, like, exploded, and it, like, went all wobbly. Do you know what I'm talking about? That was disgusting.
UFC, there's a lot of that stuff. I've seen people, like, break, like, their arms and legs, and the leg ones are disgusting because they break their leg as they're kicking someone, and they go to put it down, their leg's a noodle.
That's disgusting. That is just so gross. It's hard to look away, though, honestly. Alexis said
he got second. Yeah, he did until he got disqualified.
Cousin's a cheater. Johnny said, Toni Storm is a world champion. She could have gotten the main event spot. No, Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa is not main eventing Double or Nothing. Should be a good match, but that's not going on last. Noob said, what's going on, Noob? Thanks for joining. He said, Damage Control is dead, has been dead ever since that feud with Bianca Belair for 2 years. Yeah, the group died like within 4 or 5 months. I mean, we were saying when we went to Survivor Series in Boston that the group was dead even then. And yeah, Alexis also said she didn't know about that, by the way. Didn't know that he cheated. You missed those things. Yeah, I think she was aware. She just doesn't want to admit that her cousin's a cheater. Got
Damage Control. I love Damage Control. It's still alive to me.
I could still do the arm thing. Dakota Kai's taught it to me a couple times. I got to upload the footage. I'm delayed on that.
I need to see the footage.
I know. I got to send you the footage of me doing the fucking arm thing. Embarrassingly so. Also, that injury from Zoe Stark is scary. It's not Kyrie's fault. Accidents happen, especially in the world of sports. Yeah, now that was certainly not Kyrie's fault. I don't think anyone's blaming her. DQ and NASCAR.
I don't know
that's
if
a weird
anyone's
thing.
not blaming. I mean, like I said, not blaming, but like, I did mention this. This is the problem with the triple threats. Is like you got so much shit going on.
Yeah.
Like clearly, like I
Lot
feel
of
like there
triple
was
threats,
clearly
dude.
some miscommunication because she was flying in as she was, and we saw it in the other women's triple threat. Like at one point, Becky was like screaming at Roxanne because she was not in the right spot. But I'm like, this is what happens when you do these triple threats. It's like, stop.
Yeah, we talked about. Oh yeah, it was you. You mentioned when we were doing hashtag the other day. I'm thinking like, when did we talk about this? It wasn't last week. It was because you sent in that comment. But you're right. Triple H does a lot of triple threats. A lot of.
It's just
triple threats.
lazy booking.
Yeah, I know. Listen, they want to include as many people as possible in the qualifiers. But the issue is,
it's not even that.
You don't
they
have
don't
to.
want certain people getting pinned, so they put these people that don't even belong in the qualifiers. They get pinned, like Natalya, Zoe Stark. I mean, why are they in it?
They haven't been on TV in months.
Earn a chance. They haven't done anything to earn even an opportunity.
I agree. That doesn't make sense. And like you said, it's to protect this person. They also do a lot. We talk about DQs in NASCAR. Triple H has also booked a lot of DQs. Alexis said that when we were watching Raw on Monday. I think it was Bron Breakker and Jey Uso ended in a, guess what? DQ. No contest. They do it on pay-per-views too. I hate Backlash. Out of the 5 matches they did, 4 matches had run-in interference finishes. They got to cool down on that shit because they do a whole lot of it. Johnny said, how would you feel?
1998 again.
Seriously, which has its pros and cons. I mean, the whole chaotic thing is cool, and I think it adds a must-see vibe to the show, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But you also need more clean finishes, and some of these people are over enough to where if they lose, they won't lose anything if they get pinned. Like, if fucking Rhea Ripley got pinned by Kairi Sane, which was never going to be the outcome, let's face it, but it really should have just been Rhea and Kairi in the first place. Why even add Zoe Stark? Zoe, glad she's back on TV, but she should have never even been in that spot to begin with.
But it's the same with Becky. Like, you had Lyra out there. Like, why couldn't she just Roxanne pin Becky?
Who else was in the match? Roxanne, Becky,
Natalya. Natalya was the pinfall leader.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Why the fuck?
Like, you already had Lyra out there, so why can't she just attack Becky and then Becky's obviously busy with her, and then she gets rolled up or something, or gets pinned by Roxanne? That would mean so much more than beating Natalya, who, I mean, I know they love talking about Natalya. She's a legend, but like,
means nothing at this point. No, I agree.
It's time to move on.
I agree. She's making the rounds right now in Bloodsport, NWA, but she means a lot more in all those places than she currently does in WWE on television. I think Pat McAfee said, Alexis pointed out, that he had mentioned if Natalya were to win on Monday, she would have qualified for Money in the Bank for the first time. He must have meant he must have meant that she would be the first woman to qualify, which I'm not even sure if that was true at that point in the show. But that's not even accurate. She's been in fucking 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches, because I heard that and I'm thinking, I don't think so. And I went back. She was in the 2017 Money in the Bank, the 2018 Money in the Bank, the 2019 Money in the Bank, 2021. Like, she was in at least 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches. Like, she should not have been in this one. She did not qualify for the first time. Like, she was never going to be in it, so why even have her out there? Have her out there to do other shit, lose to other people. To even have her in a qualifier when she's done nothing to earn that opportunity, like you said, you hit the nail right in the head. I agree.
Lazy booking.
Lazy booking. Yeah, Daniel Malcolm also joining with the salute. Daniel, what's going on? He has the badge next to his name. You can get a badge next to your name if you sign up for a WrestleRant All Access Pass, $5 a month. Get you a shout out at the beginning and end of every live stream. A little bit late here, but I will shout them out here. Alexis, Miss Maud Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve1 at Swerve1 on IG. Daniel Malcolm, just mentioned him a moment ago. I'm Quarter on X. Mr. Marceau himself on the Twitter machine at RJ_Marceau on X. John Ritland here on YouTube, Real Honesty with John Ritland, as well as Richie, Red Planet Wrestling, and Average Grunt at the Average Grunt on X. He was also here a little bit earlier on. You can get shout-outs, stuff like that, so more information in the description box down below. Also, at the very least, be sure to like this video if you're watching live, subscribe, and get more daily content. So let's get into this, Mr. Marceau. Saturday night's main event. Oh, I should also mention as well, new episodes of WrestleRant Radio. I forgot about this. New episodes of the show every single Thursday. Video form here on YouTube, youtube.com/WrestleRant. Get it first, get it live, get the video, the premiere version, but you can also get the audio version as well after the fact on all your favorite podcast platforms every Thursday. So now we move on to the official predictions for this weekend shows. We're going chronological order here. I know you're not keeping up with the AEW stuff. I'll ask you your predictions anyway. If you want to offer some picks And honestly, like, without even
I
watching,
always pick. They may not be the most educated, but
it would be funny if you got every single one right, though. That would be fucking funny for someone who may not watch the show. If you got every single match right, that would be pretty amazing. Ultimately,
I mean, that's how it works.
it's just a Notre Dame or whatever the expression is. Saturday night's main event coming up first on Saturday. Only 4 matches. I was kind of worried that they would add a 5th match, and not worried in the sense that I thought they might add a women's match. It would be great to have a women's match. There are no women's matches on the show, but for a 2-hour TV special, this really should only be 4 matches. I was at the first one in December. It was a good show, but the matches really weren't given a whole lot of time, and it was fun. But I kind of expected a little bit more, but they had to kind of, speed things up because they only had 2 hours for 5 matches. And they want to give some of these matches time, and you have commercials and shit like that. The second one that they did a few months ago, that had 4 matches. I preferred that formula, that format a bit more, in my opinion. And that's what we're getting this Saturday. Starting with the steel cage matchup, WrestleMania rematch between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. They are certainly building this up as the end of this long-running rivalry that's really been going on since WrestleMania last year. They've had so many interactions since then at Clash of the Castle, the Rumble, Chamber, Mania 2 years in a row, Backlash a couple of weeks ago, and now Saturday night's main event. This has got to be it, but honestly, I could see it going either way. I could see Drew being primed for a program with a Cody Rhodes or someone else in the main event scene, but I could also see Damian Priest avenging the loss from Mania and getting back in the win column, a big win that he has not picked up in quite a while. So before I give my pick, Mr. Marceau, who you got going over here, Damian Priest or Drew McIntyre?
Definitely a tough one. Kid's got a fucking smirk on his face, so he knows he's putting in first. But I think it's a tough one because I feel like if Priest wins, like, what do you do with him next? I mean, he's not going to face Cena. He's not on the roster. He's not going to face Jay. I mean, is he going to face Jacob Fatu again and lose? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'll go with Drew. I think Drew needs the win. I think, like you said, him winning could propel him into a bigger title match. So I'm going to go with Drew.
All right. I'll go with Damian just because he lost to WrestleMania. I think he's owed a big win. I think Drew's over enough to the point where he can lose here. He can bounce back. He'll be fine. I could see him winning and then Drew going on. The thing is that Cena's champion. So if Cody retained at Mania, I could have seen Cody and Drew coming out of WrestleMania. I think we are getting that feud inevitably anyway, but I could have seen it on the Sooner side had he retained at Mania, which he did not. And I don't even know if they go right back to Cody and John Cena right away. Anyway, I heard the rumor, saw the report that Cena could be back or Cody could be back by Money in the Bank in a couple of weeks. I still think that's too soon. That's only a little over a month after he left from Mania, so I would keep him off TV a little longer. But regardless, I'll go with Damian Priest here. CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Potential match of the weekend here. Teaming up for the first time ever to take on just them. They also teamed up at War Games, but just them 2-on-2. Teaming up for the first time ever against Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker, the new Heyman Dangerous Alliance here. What do you think goes down? And do you see, and I'll throw the prediction to you first for this one as well, because this one could also go either way, and I always give you the tough ones first. Who do you see winning this match? And do we see Sami Zayn betray CM Punk and join Rollins and Breakker? Not that he's always been in cahoots the whole time. That would be fucking stupid. He's gotten physical with the heels. That doesn't make sense. But like something changes to where he then joins the heels because him and Punk can't coexist.
I think the heels win. I don't think Sammy turns, but maybe you get another person with the Heyman group.
On the show?
So. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who do you think that would be if it's not Sami Zayn?
No idea.
If you had to take, who would you want to see in the group? I know we've talked about this
before. I want it to be Theory, but it's not going to be him. He's too busy dicking around on Raw with Sheamus and Grayson Waller. So
the split that will never end, the breakup that will never be completed.
Brutal.
They were still teasing tension on Monday. It's not been dragged out long enough. You still need to build up towards it. It's not been long enough. It's only been 15 months. Like, seriously, what the fuck? But no, Theory would have been nice. At this point, I've lost all hope that Theory is going to be utilized correctly in any meaningful manner. But I really don't. Honestly, I don't know. I think you're onto something by having the heels win and then debuting a new person here. I will say that we will not get a new person here, but I will go with Rollins and Breakker. I've been going against you with your picks for the last, since we started the show here, between the Knicks Pacers pick and Priest and McIntyre.
We're in the same one on this one.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. On this one, I will go with you because I feel like I've been going against you, not on purpose, but
Good. I like that.
I could see Punk and Zayn winning, but how could they win, though? I mean, by pinning Rollins, who just turned heel, that would be dumb. And Breakker should not be getting pinned in a tag team match. He should not be the fall guy here. It wouldn't kill them, but I'll go with Rollins and Breakker. I think you convinced me. Non-title match here. This is not for the undisputed WWE title, but I think there's a reason for that. John Cena and R-Truth going one-on-one. Now, this match does make sense. It's not exactly the sexiest match on paper. And I think it's already been confirmed that Jey Uso and Logan Paul will be main eventing Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm glad this Cena match, honestly, will probably open the show. I could see that. But it's a match that makes sense after what they did at Backlash and since Backlash, before Backlash, even in the last few years with all the interactions they've had and Truth calling him his childhood hero. I think this is the perfect match to do on a TV special, but I don't think this is it. I think Cena's on SmackDown this week in Tampa. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure. I know Johnny mentioned earlier, this is unrelated, but he had mentioned that Tampa basically told WWE, hey, we don't want to go to 4 shows because I think they're doing SmackDown on Friday, Saturday night's main event on Saturday. Battlegrounds, okay, maybe they're not doing SmackDown there Friday because I think Saturday night's main event is in Tampa, Battlegrounds in Tampa, Raw's in Tampa, NXT was supposed to be in Tampa, but they canceled that. They said, yeah, no, we're not doing that shit. But the other ones they're going to. But anyway, I'm going to say with Cena and Truth, I'm going to go off on a limb here and say Truth
Don't even
wins.
say it. No.
R-Truth wins, but by count out. Because here's my rationale here. John Cena, and I'm not saying this is a great idea, but I'm just saying this is why I think this is happening. John Cena is advertised for Money in the Bank in 2 weeks, and I just don't think you have enough time to turn around and plug someone into that spot. I would love if Cena went through as many people as possible before this run was through, to not do any rematches. The Cody rematch is inevitable. But I think they're going to have, honestly, I could see Truth or this being a no contest or something to earn Truth a title shot and then doing that at Money in the Bank. Because what else would John Cena be doing in Money in the Bank? Unless he was in Money in the Bank, which would be fucking stupid. He wants to ruin wrestling. Yeah, stop. Let's stop using that as an excuse. I think Truth might win this by count out or DQ. What do you think? You just think Cena squashes him and then we move on? I know what you want to see happen, but what do you think happens?
That's what he should do. I'm going with Cena. I can't even go with Truth. There's no fucking chance I can pick him. I'm going with Cena. There's no way.
I'm just surprised, and from a storyline standpoint, Truth has done nothing to earn an opportunity at the title. Granted, I was going to say Randy Orton didn't either, but Orton was winning matches before Mania. I couldn't tell you the last fucking match that R-Truth won. I think they're going to stretch this out. I think they're going to want to have them interact before Money in the Bank. I don't think Cena's on SmackDown, and if he is, then they could interact tomorrow night, but I'm going to go Truth wins. And I'll text you, Truth wins, LOL. Not my favorite outcome. That is not great. Cena losing his WWE. That's like fucking Raw shit. I also would not do a DQ or a count out on a TV special. I know it's not a pay-per-view, but it basically is a mini pay-per-view. Not my favorite finish, but that's what I see happening. And then we get to the main event of the same show, Jey Uso and Logan Paul. Yeet, I know you're wearing the t-shirt there. For the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty, predictable outcome, but I do think the match will be good. We talked about it a week or two ago. I think this is the perfect first feud for Jey Uso as World Heavyweight Champion. Logan Paul, we're kind of at a stage with him now where what do you even do with the guy? I don't think he should win a world title. I think that would be fucking dumb with how, not often he shows up, infrequently he shows up, and I don't know. I think Logan Paul has his strengths, but he's kind of plateaued as a performer, in my opinion. But I do think this match will be good for how hated Logan Paul is. Jey Uso's beloved. I think the match works. And you also have to remember, too, Gunther is gunning for the title on the June 9th Raw, for which I think Goldberg is returning and costing Goldberg or Gunther that match. I thought you didn't like that idea. I thought we tossed that out last week and you poo-pooed on it.
No, I said that was going to happen. You were crying that Gunther was going to lose again.
I do hate that. I was crying about that. I will absolutely admit to that.
Fickle wrestling fans over here.
But I'm going Jey Uso, Yeet, still World Heavyweight Champion. What are you thinking here?
Should I do the whole shtick? 4 letters, 1 word?
I will say, for Logan Paul's promos, that line on Monday where he goes, 1 word, 4 letters, you all have 2 brain cells. To me, that was funny. That got a good pop out of me.
Doesn't make sense, though.
Well, he was trying to do the whole Yeet thing, but he was saying that people are dumb.
He sucks. I will say I like how they did have Gunther like interact there, like maybe throw the scent that Logan could win, but Jay wins. LOL.
No, I agree. I'm glad they teased that. It shouldn't happen. This is another match. This is what I'm saying with the Logan Paul thing, and I mean, just to kind of divert from the main topic for a second with Logan Paul, from Saturday night's main event to Logan Paul. Just his feuds, not all of them, but like the recent ones, just have not been great. Like if you go back to even the LA Knight one last summer, it wasn't bad, but it was like I kind of expected more because they're two great talkers, and the match at SummerSlam was fun, but the feud kind of left a lot to be desired. And then he started working with AJ Styles. They like called each other out. Some basic shit. I mean, that feud sucked. I mean, considering what we could have gone from, I mean, the match itself was fucking boring. Not bad, but it was boring. And then Logan Paul won, which is logical in retrospect because he's challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, whatever. And then he feuds with Jey Uso now, where the extent of the feud is two things. One, I don't believe in you, Jey, which we already fucking moved on from that. Like, Jey is a world champion. And he's only been world champion for a month, but he is world champion. None of the shit where like, oh, he's not a main eventer. Like, we have to prove him wrong. Like, it's stupid. Like, we already got through that. And the second thing is, I'm going to knock your ass out. He knocked him out 3 times. Who cares?
4 times.
Who gives a shit? Like, is it just me or is like the bloom off the rose of Logan Paul at this point?
You're starting to like get into like the Rock rant from a couple weeks ago.
I am a little bit, yeah.
You were getting in there. I mean, I mean, like you said, I feel like for me especially, like he's a good wrestler, but the feuds have left a lot to be desired. Like his matches are pretty good, but at this point, it's like he's like halfway in, halfway out. I just don't have any investment.
Well, the matches are good, but here's the other thing, though. I feel like a lot of his matches at this point are pretty much just spot fests in the sense that, like, he's a great athlete. He can do some pretty cool shit, but the cool shit that he does in every fucking match. So it's like we've seen the best of Logan Paul at this point. There really hasn't been any progress, any development. The promos can be decent sometimes, but this whole shit with, like, I'm going to knock your ass out, like he's fucking Jake Paul, who in and of himself is not the best boxer in the world, but they'll tell you that he is. They go down that rabbit hole. And then also, like, the whole, I mean, we've talked about this before, and this has been the case for years now. The bullshit interference in his matches. We will probably get it this weekend. But that fucking loser that interferes in Logan's behalf, who's Jeff? I was going to say, we don't even know his name.
I know his name because I hear Cole does it every time. Oh, Jeff! I'm like, no one knows who this guy is.
And
it's not like
never
it's a famous celebrity or something. It's so dumb.
He only helps him on his pay-per-view matches. We never see the guy otherwise. He's not a part of his shtick. It's either him or KSI and some other goof from the Logan Paul vortex, basically. I mean, that's what it is. It's the Logan Paul vortex. They build him up. He wins enough matches. But it's just at this point, and again, I say the bloom is off the rose. For a lot of people, the bloom was never on the rose because a lot of people fucking hate Logan Paul. I'm not even talking about his controversies here. I'm just saying at this point, and I wrote a whole article about this the other day, I don't know, the value that they're with Logan Paul, is it enough? Are they justifying the buzz, quote unquote, that they're getting out of Logan Paul by putting him in prominent spots? Like, I mean, I'm not saying you take this guy out and you put this other guy in. It's not the same thing, but it is worth mentioning. You devote a lot of television time to Logan Paul. Where the fuck is Karrion Kross? I know you're not his biggest fan, but like this guy's organically getting over and he can't even sniff 10 seconds of television time. That doesn't sit well with me.
We're doing this again?
We're going back to this.
Now, okay, I'm glad we're getting on this Kross thing because I said the thing the other day and you kind of like poo-pooed it. What? But at the time when he was in NXT, me and you were like probably one of the only people that I saw say positive things about Karrion Kross. Everyone else, he's boring, he's overbooked, his matches aren't great, blah, 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 blah. Okay, goes to the main roster, doesn't have a good run, comes back, does the Final Testament stuff. That stuff's terrible too. He just cuts one promo. Why is he on TV? I'm like, what did you expect? I mean, he did the media rounds this weekend, or this week. I saw he was on Errol Hawani's show. Like, I just don't understand. Like, people like shit on this guy like 2 to 3 years ago, saying he was boring, he wasn't good, he's just an entrance. Okay, they call him back. He's like kind of getting his footing, and then the group he's in sucks. Now he's on his own. He cuts one promo. Oh, it felt real. So now I like Karrion Kross now. Like, why are they pushing him? Like, you can't have a cake and eat it too. Like, you either like the guy or you don't.
I agree with everything you just said, but I feel like that's more the fault of the fans than it is Karrion
That's what I'm
Kross or WWE.
saying. The fans are fickle and they suck.
He's always been. I'm not saying he's like the best performer in the company.
No,
He's not
we've
even the
never
best.
said that. I feel like we've
No.
been on his bandwagon since he was back in NXT. But
I
like,
agree, Bull.
he was
You
in
and I
NXT,
both.
everyone was like, "Why is he the champion? He's so boring."
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone loves him now.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, you jump on the bandwagon after he cuts one promo that goes viral. But realistically, I mean, they weren't shoot promos. He's been cutting promos of this quality, whether it be during commercial on Raw, Netflix, or on their social media, on his social media. He's been doing this shit for years. And only now people are more so paying attention because it's like, oh, it's like the cool thing to like Karrion Kross. But guess what? We were in the fucking trenches during the NXT days when people were
Pull up
on
the archives. I want to see the
Check
archives.
the archives, seriously. Mr. Marceau and I, among a few elite others, were on the bandwagon with Karrion Kross from the moment he debuted, his entire NXT run, even when he got fired. I'm like, this company fucked up. When they gave him the stupid shredder mask and the whole BDSM outfit before he got fired 4 years ago, I shit on that because I'm thinking this guy's more than that. When he came back to the company 3 years ago, I'm sure there's a clip that I made from a comment that we talked about on the show here at that point where they made a mistake by firing him, but they did the right thing by bringing him back because we thought he had potential. And I don't think the fact that he hasn't lived up to that potential yet is his fault. And again, maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm going to go down with the ship here, and I will forever think Kross is better than he actually is. But just in my own personal opinion, I think he's always had the tools to be a much bigger player than he is, but they just haven't given him that opportunity because he's never really on TV. And when he is on TV, not recently, but like, when he first came back and he had the like several feuds with Ray and Drew, he would lose whenever it mattered most every fucking time. They would give him a few wins over this guy, that guy, Joe Schmo, but when it really mattered, he would never fucking win. Like it was literally the modern day Bray Wyatt. Like he legitimately would say all this spooky shit, cut these great promos, and then he would fucking lose. The fact that Bray even went on to become world champion as many times as he did is a miracle. Rest in peace. But the fact that Bray was as much of a success as he was is honestly a godsend because I know Vince was in charge at that point. Triple H is in charge now. You think it'd be better as far as the carrying thing goes. It's not. They have him speak a big game, and they don't even bother investing in him. It just bothers me, because especially now that he has support and he's selling T-shirts, they're not even putting him on the fucking show. At least try. If he doesn't get over, that's their fault. That's his fault. It falls on him.
But no, that's the point, though, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to start pushing on TV, and then the discourse is going to be like, I don't really like Karrion Kross. He's boring. His matches suck.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah. That's going to happen. So, like you said, like, it's
worth
the problem. The problem is they'll start pushing him, and then people complain that he's boring, he's not good, and then it's like you're in the rock. It's like you're in between a rock and a hard place. You don't push him, people complain. You push him, then people complain. Like, and it's like he's not polarizing enough that like you would go either way. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, I feel like people are like, oh, like I like him now. Like, okay, and then he's gonna be on TV, and they're gonna say he's overexposed and he's boring. Like. Wrestling fans suck, and it's just the way it is.
I mean, look no further. There's a million cases you can point to, but look no further than LA Knight. When LA Knight was not LA Knight and he was Max Dupree, this guy's great. Why are they wasting him? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, and then people did a lot of those people stayed on the bandwagon. They didn't turn on him. But I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you how many people stayed on or got off the bandwagon as soon as he started getting pushed and got more TV time. This guy's overrated. He can't wrestle. He's just a catchphrase. Jey Uso, I'm sure, was the same thing, where it's like, oh, yeah,
I was going to say, people are always like, when Jey was around, oh, like, I can't wait till Jey gets a single run. Finally breaks up. Oh, he's not great in the ring. He's overexposed. His promos aren't great. Like, you can't have – they flip-flop. It's like, what's my favorite flavor of ice cream this month? Vanilla. Next month's chocolate. The month after that, strawberry. So once you finally get vanilla, you're already past vanilla. You're already on the chocolate. After chocolate, you're on the strawberry. And after strawberry, you're on cookies and cream. After the cookies and cream, you're on coffee. Flip, flop, 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 flop. I mean, you got to stay in your lane here.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, I do get it, and I understand. I mean, I don't get it, but I understand why it happens because fans are so fucking fickle. They need to like the underground thing first, and when other people start to accept it or like it, and it starts getting actual attention, like I like this band before anyone else, And when they ended up getting to a level where they're selling out venues and arenas, I don't like them anymore. You know, they're too big for their britches.
No. You don't like them. You got to let everyone know that you like them first. That's where it comes out.
That's the key. You have to let everyone know that you don't like them. I never really liked them in the first place. Yeah, they're kind of overrated. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, you know, they're not what they once were. It's like, come on, fuck you. That's just stupid.
Like, I remember when they used to be real music, when they played in the smaller, like, bingo halls. Now they're just too, like, corporate.
They sold their soul.
They sold their... Dwayne?
Dwayne? Does you
Is
show
that
up
a
this
pivot?
weekend? Did you see?
Is that Rhea Maivia?
Rhea Maivia, I have to clip that. That will go down as one of the best WrestleRant Radio
Hey,
moments.
she didn't
of all
put
time.
over Kyrie.
Didn't put over Kyrie. She no pivot there. Zoe got hurt and they didn't pivot. They just kept Rhea winning. Ridiculous. I told you, tribal tattoos. What? That's Rhea Ripley with Solo. He's with Solo Sikoa. Did you see, unrelated, I mean, you weren't watching it, obviously, and neither was I, but I saw it after the fact. That Collision got preempted. It got canceled.
I did see that, yeah.
In the last
People
30
were
minutes.
crying.
Yeah, it got canceled. The last 30 minutes didn't. Not even the show itself. The last 30 minutes got cut off, and in its place, Black Adam. They put Black Adam.
Good.
So The Rock is taking over WWE and AEW at the same time.
I like that.
Black Adam, the biggest box office flop in the last few years, is preempting Collision, and he's also coming into WWE because it didn't work for him to show up at WrestleMania, so he's going to show up here instead. Rock Johnson, baby, Dwayne Johnson. Him and Rhea Maivia.
The final boss is a different guy.
What'd you say?
The final boss is a different character.
That's what he told me, and anything that comes out of his mouth is the truth. A lot like Terry Bollea, notorious truth teller, Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan. Everything he says. I won't be surprised if Rock got involved in the whole freestyle wrestling thing with Hogan and Bischoff.
I hope he does.
I hope he does too. Fernando said earlier, "What's up, everyone?" Fernando, what's going on, brother? He also said, "Remember who mentored Triple H? I'm not surprised. He books similar to Vince sometimes." I mean, I will say at the end of the day, for anyone who shits on Triple H's booking, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just shit on Triple H's booking with the whole Karrion Kross thing.
I'm going to say, I mean, you're also whining on hashtag, like, what is his worst booking decisions?
Yeah,
that's where I said you were too negative. You're just too, what is best? Like, why can't we go best? Why would they go negative?
Someone asked the question about worst, so I told about the worst.
Yeah. You sound like the fake news.
I will also still say, though, I will take Triple H over Vince any day of the week. There are literally people out there, and I'm not kidding. Like, you think this is stupid, but it's true. There are people that will sit there and say, I prefer Vince. The product was better when Vince was in charge. Who clearly were not watching in 2022 and 2021 and 2019 and every other fucking year for the last 10 years when this product, when you and I were talking about this shit, and it was fucking terrible, it was entirely Vince McMahon's fault.
It's funny because the other day when you were talking about it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on the website and take a look at the champions. If you look at the champions right now, besides John Cena, obviously, and the New Day, because they've been around for fucking ever, all these people that are champions are pretty much Triple H push people who are people that people like or are over. You got Jay, Io, Tiffany, Dom, Jacob Fatu, Lyra, Zelina Vega, for whatever that's worth. Doesn't really matter to me. Street Profits, I guess I wouldn't really count them because, I mean, they were still, but like, I'd throw Liv in there. I mean, she got famous or got her big push with Triple H. I mean, is everything perfect? No, but that's going to be with anything. Everyone's going to complain that insert favorite wrestler isn't getting pushed or this person's underutilized or, I mean, that's just the business at this point.
No, I agree, but I also will say, listen, for as much as people complain and I complain about certain things, I will also sit here and tell you at the same time, I like the shows a lot. SmackDown is a chore to sit through most weeks because it's 3 hours and it's most weeks not great, but although I think last week's show was decent, I don't remember. But Raw most weeks, I actually really, really like. I think Raw most weeks is very good. There's a lot to like right now. There's some things I wish they were doing better and I wish they can improve upon. But for the most part, like the pay-per-views are good. The product is just so much more enjoyable and just so much more easier to watch than it was even fucking 3-4 years ago. Like, I agree. A lot of the champions, they make sense. We can sit here and complain about, Charlotte in the bank and stuff like that. But for every Charlotte in the bank that they're doing, they have Tiffany who's out there doing great stuff. Nia Jax, I mean, we don't really talk about SmackDown all that much just because it's kind of far removed. She and Tiffany last week had a great match on SmackDown. I got to give him credit. Nia has been one of the best TV women's wrestlers in the last year. She's had some very good matches with Michin, Nia had good matches with Michin, Naomi, Tiffany. You know, I can go on a rant about all the great stuff. I mean, I say rant, but all the good shit that Triple H is doing.
I wouldn't say Nia's like, she's not Mildred Burke here, but I mean, she's been better. She's better than she was when Vince was around.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's you know, she's been doing a lot better, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff on Raw that I've been digging as well. I mean, some things I don't really give a shit about personally, but you know, overall I enjoy the shows. Daniel said pivot earlier. Always got to pivot. Fernando asked thoughts on the dark side of the ring with Daphne. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it is one of the saddest ones he mentioned, and I don't get emotional much, he said. I'll watch it sometime this week. All the other episodes this season so far have been good, though. The Billy Jack Haynes one was very good. Fernando also said, he said Sid. I don't know who Sid is, but he said,
so did you watch Dynamite, I think.
The fact that you knew what he meant and I didn't, it just proves that I'm a fucking idiot. I mean, you were absolutely right. Yeah, did you watch Dynamite last night and enjoy it? I did watch the show. I didn't watch it last night. I watched it after the fact, but it was decent. I thought the Ospreay Adam Page promo was awesome. The 6-man tag team match, you know, typical AEW spot fest. But it was, you know, it was good. The rest of the show I didn't think was great. I thought it was fine. But the first, like, 30, 50 minutes of the show I thought were great, specifically that awesome opening segment. I enjoy Nia Jax. I don't understand why she gets so much criticism. I mean, she wasn't great for a long time, but she's improved a lot, and I think she's done a great job of turning her career around, getting better in the ring. They're utilizing her very well. I don't know. I think Nia's she's been, I don't know where she goes from here. She lost to Tiffany last week, so I'm not really sure what you do with her now. But, you know, I think she's ended up turning her career around. If this was Nia in 2021 or 2019, that's a different conversation. But it's almost like two totally different performers since she came back to the company. Not only is she improved, but her booking has improved as well. And that's entirely because of Triple H. Which you would think would be the opposite. You would think that Vince would have pushed her massively because, oh, you know, I love Nia, she's great. But he pushed her, like, terribly. It was very strange. Nick, what's going on, brother? He said, what's going on, everyone and fellas? Nick doing well. Thanks for joining. Johnny asked an interesting question. What is Tony Khan's worst booking decision? Do you have an answer on that? 'Cause the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, not a book. I mean, okay.
I was going to say, mine's not a booking decision, so.
Two things. One's not a booking decision. One is non-booking is the whole Punk Bucks sprawl.
That was literally what I was going to say.
I mean, that is literally kill the company's momentum dead. And they've been
I want to hear your booking decision. I want to hear this one.
My booking decision is not one decision, but lack of follow-up and the fact they completely fucking squandered Wardlow. I mean, that to me is number one.
I'm on that same train, similar. I think one of his worst booking decisions, because we never got the match, was the fact that we never got Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Like, they were like that. They're in the same group, like I think someone got hurt, but it's like, then they came back. It was like, oh, they don't like each other anymore, so they're not going to do it. I'm like, but they were in a group before. Like, that was like the money was in Hayter at that point. Hayter was, I believe she was champion at the time. Then she got hurt, but like, they never followed up on that. I mean, Lucha Brothers not winning the tag belts.
Well, they did eventually.
But I'm trying to think, who was it like won the belt right
initially?
Yeah, like SCU won them. I'm like, they were useless. I mean, whatever happened to Scorpio Sky? Is he even around anymore? Like,
he's in the company. They haven't used him in like a fucking
Wardlow's
2
booking
years.
was always horrible.
You know, actually, you make a good point. You didn't mention this, but I think you were kind of getting there. You mentioned like the Lucha Bros not winning the belts initially. They at least ended up winning the belts and in one of the greatest AEW matches I've ever seen with the Bucks inside the steel cage at All Out in 2021. But the team that never won the tag titles that should have, whether it be initially or after the fact, Santana and Ortiz. The fact that that is a massive booking flop on Tony Khan's part. Santana's killing it now in TNA, but the fact they never won the tag titles in AEW is a cardinal sin for how good they were as a team. Not making Hollywood.
I was like looking at the chat, someone saying something, and I'm like, I don't think that's a bit great. Not making the Hollywood ending May vs. Storm the main event.
He's done with Revolution. I mean, that's not the worst booking.
Thank God they did it. Mariah's gone. Why would you want her in the main event?
I mean, if Mariah May is gone, you're convinced she's going gone. To WWE. You think she's gone?
Where's she been? It's been 5 months almost.
She'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony Storm and Shirakawa, her two best friends, are having a match this weekend. Maybe she comes back after that.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I'm not counting on it, but
Private Party's title reign was trash too, Johnny.
yeah, their
so.
tag title reign was terrible. You are definitely
Remember
right
when the
about
Bucks pulled them over like right away, and then they never did
that.
anything?
Then they
Yeah,
lost.
I think the whole Punk situation, definitely. I mean, obviously it's not a booking decision, but like
Yeah.
whatever happened between him and Cody, obviously we don't know what
Mhm.
happened. But like obviously Cody leaving and Punk leaving, I would say were definitely like the two biggest things I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, I think Punk leaving was the bigger blow because Punk was at least still involved in main events. He was a massive draw. Not that Cody wasn't. Cody, he fucked up his own AEW run when he put the whole stipulation in place. Oh, I can't win the world title. If he stayed, would they have gone back on that at some point? Of course they would have. But like, what would honestly, realistically speaking, what the fuck else would he be doing right now in 2025 if he was still in AEW? Like, he won the TNT title 3 times? Like, that was even in the first year or two that it was around. What else could he be doing right now if he wasn't fighting for the world title?
No, I agree, but I also feel like he was put in a tough situation that like if he won the main title, people would have bitched and complained like,
Yeah.
oh, he's the EVP. So like I think he was kind of put in a rough position that like if he won, people would complain. If he didn't, then it's like what the hell. So he won the TNT title all the time.
I think that's a Cody thing, though, because honestly, you're right. People would have complained if he won the world championship. But at the same time, people did not complain when it was Kenny Omega winning the championship, and he's also an EVP. But because
it's different,
Cody,
though. It's different because it's Cody. I feel like
that's what
people
I'm saying. I agree.
No,
yeah.
because like I feel like with Cody, people see him as like a WWE guy, so it's like,
oh yeah, he's putting himself over, brother. Like he's got to win. Like first of all, it would have made sense because Cody was over even in AEW. I mean, when he was acting like a baby face, but he was basically a heel, that shit was garbage. I don't care what anyone says. That shit sucked. Towards the end of his AEW run. The Role of Penny segment with Juice Robinson and MJF, Maria said, yeah. That wasn't a bad booking decision, but that was just...
it's not really a booking decision.
Yeah, that was problematic.
Dumb.
Very dumb. Grunt said tag team wrestling in both WWE and AEW have not been great the last year or so. Yeah, no, they have not been. I mean, SmackDown's division has been... That is one thing about SmackDown I'm digging right now, the whole Fraxium thing, and that TLC triple threat match about a month ago was excellent. AEW's tag division has been lacking a lot. They're doing this weekend, I'll get to it momentarily, but Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. When Dustin's music hit last night on Dynamite and they interrupted the Hurt Syndicate, you could hear a fucking pin drop. And I like Dustin a lot. Sammy, at this point, I just do not give a fuck about at all. It's impossible to care. It's like, who cares? International title tag run with Dustin, he asked. The international title itself, bad booking decision, Grunt said. They have too many titles in general. I mean, WWE does too, but especially AEW. They have too many titles that don't mean shit. Cody could have won the Continental, International, and Tag titles with Dustin. Oh, you're saying this. Okay, Grunt was talking about what Cody could have done if he stayed. Yeah, but the TNT title, the Intercontinental title, the International, they're all the same fucking thing. The tag titles with Dustin would have been cool, I agree. But how long would that really have stretched out for? Another year, maybe? Not 3. He would have had to be the main event at some point. He would have to. If Cody was in the fucking mid-card in AEW, wrestling in 200-person bingo halls, when in WWE he's been main eventing 80,000-person stadiums for WrestleMania, I mean, that would have been we thought it was stupid when he left 3 years ago, but obviously he made the best decision he could have made in his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, winning those titles would have meant nothing.
Absolutely. Noob said Sheeta beating Tony Storm before All In at London 2023. That's a very random occurrence there, Noob, but I suppose so.
Sure, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. I think you mean when Sheeta won the belt and then she lost the belt at All In a couple weeks later to Saraya. Like they did a game of hot potato with the belt for a while there. That might be what he's referring to. Fernando said, I'm going to make a sandwich during the Hurt Syndicate, Dustin, and Sammy match. Yeah, I like Hurt Syndicate a lot, but that's a match I just do not give a fuck about at all. But we'll get to Double or Nothing here in a moment. NXT Battleground, I want to go through this quickly first. They have 6 matches on the card for Sunday, also in Tampa. This should be a good show. Random 6-man tag team match. This screams like a TV match when in reality they're doing Ricky Saints and Ethan Page 2 for the North American title on Tuesday's show. I don't know why that's not on the show and this is, but Josh Briggs, Hank and Tank versus the Culling, Sean Spears group. Who you got going over here, Mr. Marceau? Briggs, Hank and Tank, or Sean Spears, the Culling faction? I know this is a match that really excites you as much as it does for me.
Oh, Sam, I'm holding my excitement back. I hope all 6 guys have a good time. Hope no one gets hurt. We could give 2 shits less who wins. I'll go with Spears group because I feel like they lose a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the culling, I guess. I hope they all just have fun. If you want me to be 100% honest, but I don't. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Hank and Tank are the tag team champions, so maybe if the culling win, they can earn a tag title shot. It's really about it. I'm looking forward to this match. Sol Ruca and Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship. This should be good. Ruca just won the vacant title at Stand and Deliver. I don't think she loses this soon. And back to the original champion, Kalani Jordan. I got Sol Ruca retaining, pretty obvious to me, but do you think Jordan gets the belt back here?
No, I agree. I think Sol Ruca retains. I mean, Kalani Jordan had the belt before. Ruca won it. I don't think she's dropping right back to Jordan. I like both women, but I'd keep the belt on Sol Ruca.
Me too. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, Channing Stacks, Lorenzo. A regular match. I thought this would be like some cinematic bullshit or like a street fight, given that he turned on him. As of now, the last time I checked, it's a regular match. The fact that Tony D'Angelo is still in NXT, by the way, after like 4 fucking years, I'm not saying he would be like a world champion on the main roster. The guy would absolutely get lost in the shuffle. He screams NXT, but he's been ready for the main roster for a long time now. Stacks, I think, has got to win this. If he's staying put, he also has been there for a long time, but D'Angelo specifically has been ready for the main roster since at least 2023. I'm going to go Lorenzo here, but do you think D'Angelo pulls out the win, or who do you got going over?
I got Stacks. I think it makes just sense. The way you just said Tony D'Angelo is NXT just got me good. I'm going to go Stacks.
I agree. I mentioned this match before, potential match of the weekend. We'll see. Stephanie Valkyr, my girl, Jordan Grace. Stephanie Valkyr, my girl. No disrespect to Jordan Grace. NXT Women's Championship here. This match should be a banger. You know, honestly, I could see Jordan Grace winning this. I know Stephanie hasn't been champion for all that long, but she's already been flirting with the main roster. Grace already failed to win the belt in the 4-way at Stand and Deliver. I think there's a chance Jordan could win here. I'm going to
throw it to me first. Oh, whoa, okay, no, go. I thought you were going to throw it to me first. I was ready.
You know what? I won't put you on your toes for once. I'll go Jordan Grace. I'll go Jordan Grace, new NXT Women's Champion. What do you think?
I'm going with Jordan Grace as well. I think Triple H is smelling the Stephanie Valkyr money, and Grace wins here, and Stephanie gets called up soon.
I think so as well. Very imminently. If she's not already called up as it is. TNA World Championship. Joe Hendry defending the title for the first time ever on WWE television against Trick Williams. Why the sigh? And who do you got going over here, Mr.
Cares?
I care. I think this is cool.
Dumb. Joe Hendry wins. Who cares?
I got Trick Williams winning. I think Williams wins the TNA title. I think TNA, they're going to do this big. They want to get more buzz with the whole TNA thing, and they put the belt on a WWE guy. I mean, Williams is another guy that why isn't he not in the main roster at this point? And people have shit on his in-ring skills. He's not great in the ring, I will say that much. But I mean, how much more time could he really spend in NXT? But despite that, I do think he wins the TNA World Championship here. And then finally, Obafemi and Miles Bourne of No Quarter Catch Crew for the NXT Championship. I don't know if that's going on last. I don't think Miles Bourne wins. So I guess that's my prediction, Obafemi. But do you think we get an upset? I think it's cool they're pushing Miles Bourne. I think he's made the most of the opportunity so far from what I've seen.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I think it's going well. I mean, I didn't think he's going for the main title here, but maybe he's learned a few holds that people don't know about. But I got Femi winning. I mean, he won in this opportunity in a battle royal. I got Femi. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. I got Femi retaining. I think Femi's got to win here. Miles Bourne is not main event guy yet, but from what I've seen of him, like I said, I think he's made the most of the opportunity. I'm excited to see what he does in this spot. Going to the chat real quick. Noob said the culling is winning. Daniel said we hurt people. We hurt people. Maria said I was in the 6th grade when I saw Dustin Rhodes beat Ravishing Rick Rude for the WCW US Championship. I'm 20 years old now. LOL. I mean, we got you. What'd you say?
How does that even make sense? He didn't beat fucking Dustin Rhodes. I don't think that makes sense. I was in 6th grade when
the math ain't 10 years ago. Dustin beat Rude for the U.S. Championship in what, the fucking early 90s?
I assume so. So that doesn't make sense. How could you be 20 years old now if you're in 6th grade at the time? That would be 10 years ago.
Maria, the math ain't mathin'. You gotta
Yeah, there's something wrong on the mathing.
There's something ain't figured. The math ain't math in there. Unless you were watching it after the fact. They must have been watching it after the fact. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Johnny said not using Malachi Black, Saraya, etc. before their departure as far as bad booking decisions. The whole Malachi Black run, I mean, part of it might have been on Black. He got hurt a few times, but his run, he should have been a lot bigger in AEW. I mean, his debut was great, and then it was all kind of downhill from there. So Ruka is winning, Millennial Noob said. Just have Kalani Jordan going after the NXT Women's Championship. Yeah, I think so. I think Jordan's ready for the main. Kalani Jordan, not Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace too, is ready for the NXT Women's title. Johnny said Sol Ruka and Jordan should be a ladder match. No,
Just
absolutely
not a
not.
ladder match.
Dude, they do ladder matches in every fucking show. Every NXT PLE, they have ladder matches, so.
It's a no for me.
I agree. Fernando said Stacks wins and D'Angelo goes to the main roster. I hope so.
You go to the main event. I don't know if it'll be going to the main roster.
Yeah, main event, the show, that is, yes. Noob said Stacks is going to kill off Tony D'Angelo. Probably. They've had people get killed off before. Jordan Grace is going to win and Stephanie Vakir gets called up. Yep, I think so as well. We said that before. Daniel said, I believe in whoop that Trick. Yeah, so do I. I think Trick Williams is the new TNA World Champion. And Mr. Marceau, we will rejoice.
Careless.
He is not a fan. Noob also said after the embarrassing live performances from both guys, I see Trick winning. I thought both live performances were cool, actually. I actually enjoyed it on Tuesday, but that's just me. And then he also said Obafemi for the win, and as someone who was born with a disability, I'm gonna give Miles Bourne some props. Miles Bourne's good. He's always been good. His promos are decent, and he's in the ring very good. I think Miles Bourne's a very good talent. I don't think he takes the title, but I'm pulling for him to have a standout showing on Sunday. All right, last but not least here, Mr. Marceau, AEW Double or Nothing. And these should be interesting predictions. I know you're not closely following the product right now, but I am curious to see who you have going over in some of these matches. Mark Briscoe and Ricochet are having a match this weekend. This is a stretcher match. Now, why is it a stretcher match? I mean, they've been feuding a little bit, but I think it's a stretcher match because a stretcher match that Sabu had in ECW was what got Tony Khan really invested in ECW or some shit. So in light of Sabu's recent passing, I think that's why this is a stretcher match. Otherwise, it really doesn't make sense.
That makes sense.
I think he's trying to pay tribute to Sabu. They haven't said that on TV, but just from what I understand, that's probably why they're doing it.
God.
Ricochet's got to win this. I mean, I like Mark Briscoe when he's over, but Ricochet would have to win. I think he's going to win this match.
They dropped the ball on Mark Briscoe when Jay passed away. Ricochet wins.
Okay. Do you think Mark Briscoe should have been? I mean, he was Ring of Honor World Champion, but you think he should have been?
They should have pushed him more in AEW. The whole Ring of Honor, they get rid of Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor sucks. Move on from that.
That I agree with. It's time to move on from that. Fernando said Sol Ruka is going to be the top babyface in the women's division on the main roster. Give it time. I think she will be up in that conversation. Sol Ruka is very good. And Obafemi is Brock Lesnar 2.0. In certain respects, maybe. In other respects, I hope not. Hopefully, he's not involved in some of the stuff outside.
Hope he doesn't like urine pictures.
Yeah, let's just put it that way. Grunt said Ricochet wins easy. Yeah, I hope so. Good question here from Johnny, bringing the fire questions today. What is your favorite stretcher match of all time?
This is the easiest question I've ever seen in my life. Judgment Day 2003. No. Yeah, was it Judgment Day? Lesnar versus Big Show.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say, yeah.
Yep.
I think it was Judgment Day 03, right?
I think so, yep.
Yeah. Mine, personally, Shawn Michaels Batista. One Night Stand 2008. I'm not sorry and I don't love you. Amazing. That was cinema. Amazing cinema. So I'm going with that. That's a good pick too. Big Show and Brock Lesnar. Matt and Jeff Hardy also had one on SmackDown. That was quite good as well. So those are some honorable mentions. Back in 2009. Ricochet and Mark going to do a triple jump move. I don't know what that means. Noob said Ricochet is going to be stretched out of AEW. I would hope not. He just showed up less than a year ago, so I would hope he's not getting stretchered out of the company just yet. Hurt Syndicate and the Sons of Texas for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I said this before. I'm sorry. I just don't care. I like Hurt Syndicate. They're doing something with MJF right now that's been entertaining. One of the better parts of the show as of late, but MJF, as of now, in the ring is not on this show, a lot like a Dynasty. I think that's a mistake. You have him not in the ring, but the fucking, Sammy Guevara's on the card. Who gives a shit? They're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Ooh, champions versus champions. Who honestly gives a fuck? And I can tell you, it's not just me, because I see you raising your hand there. It wasn't just me, because when they came out on Wednesday, no one reacted. You could hear a pin drop. Who do you think wins here, the Sons of Texas or the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW World Tag Team titles?
Oh, the Hurt's going to win. I mean, the Sons of Texas, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah. I don't think anyone cares about Sons of Texas or the Ring of Honor product in general, which Grunt agrees with. He said, Ring of Honor is definitely my biggest critique of Tony for sure. I'm glad he bought it over Vince/Paul. I agree with that. But they need to run more pay-per-views so the TVs can actually build to something. Yeah, the TVs are like basically dark. It's basically Dark 2.0. Ricochet and Mark might top their matches. What, the matches that we talked about? I don't think so. I don't think Ricochet and Mark is going to be better than Brock and Big Show or Shawn and Batista, but that's just me. Hurt Syndicate's winning. Does anyone even care about the match? Probably not. That's a TV match, but I personally don't care. Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the AEW Continental Championship. Okada's not dropping this belt till All In. He's facing Kenny Omega in a champion versus champion match. So, ergo, Okada retains. I know you're not a big Speedball guy. He's not your cup of tea. Do you think he wins here, or Okada retains?
I think Okada retains, but I mean his run in AEW's phone hasn't been good either. So
no,
I'll go with Okada. Yeah.
You bring up a good point, though. I was watching Dynamite earlier, and when Okada, they showed him on the screen for a backstage interview, it felt like no one gave a shit. He's doing the bitch thing. He just says bitch a lot, but it's like that got old pretty quickly, and it's been old for a long time now, and just I personally don't care. For a guy that should feel like a massive deal when it comes out in Okada, it's almost like I have apathy. Not that I don't care, but it's like he feels like not even like anyone else on the roster. He feels like below, and he's been champion for over a year. I don't know. He's just kind of there at this point. There is a reason Ring of Honor went out of business. Why would I care about the Ring of Honor tag champs during anything? I mean, I love Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor is great. Currently, it's not, but I'm glad they bought it, but they just don't utilize it properly. And Johnny said it's going to be the best champion versus champion match of all time, talking about Hurt Syndicate and Sons of Texas. FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. FTR just turned heel for context and turned on Adam Copeland. I think they would be very stupid to have them lose here. I think FTR wins. What do you think?
FTR.
I'm looking forward to Nigel being back in the ring, though. I'm a Nigel McGuinness guy. Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. I know you're a Mina fan. Mina's very good. They actually officially signed her. She is all elite. Too bad her friend might be headed to WWE, that being Mariah May, which Mr. Marceau called as soon as the rumor hit the rumor mill. I said, no chance, that would be dumb, not going to happen. And then Mr. Marceau, as always, is probably right. So we'll see. Not confirmed, but it might happen. But anyway, Tony Storm or Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. Who wins?
I mean, Tony just won the belt back, so it'd be weird for her to lose it. I do like Mina Mellons, but I'm going with Tony Storm.
There you go. Is that the Cornette nickname for Mina Shirakawa?
Yes.
That makes sense. Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné, the AEW TBS champion, non-title match, but it is the finals of the Women's Owen Hart Cup winner, earning a title shot at All In against Toni Storm, assuming she wins, which she will. This honestly could go either way. Mercedes is the TBS champion, so you would think, oh, she's got to lose. Like, why the fuck would she go for another belt? But at the same time, though, she's actually undefeated. So this is a tough one to predict, so I'm going to go with you picking your match first, picking your result first. Who you got?
See, like, this one's not as hard for me to say because I'm not that invested.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have that 70s girl, Jamie Hayter, drop the ball. Talk about bad booking. Tony's booking of her has been horrible. I mean, I guess she's going for the title here or for this. Mercedes doesn't do jobs. Mercedes wins.
All right. Yeah. I don't think Moné loses her first match here. That's kind of my holdup. I don't think that, because the thing is, if Jamie Hayter wins, she pins the TBS champion. Why would you not then do Jamie Hayter and Mercedes for the TBS championship? You know, it just doesn't make sense. So I think Mercedes is going to win, which I fucking hate to even say that. And I like Mercedes. She's great, but like, I mean, I don't know. She's not my favorite by any means. I mean, I made that quite clear. The promo she cut on Wednesday was not good at all. But then Jamie Hayter's not going to wrestle at All In England, which is where she's from. Or it's not, All In's not there, actually. All In's in Texas this year, so I take that back. Maybe she can win it after the fact. But yeah, I think Mercedes wins here as well. Noob had FTR winning. He also said Tony is winning, but I like Mina. Grunt said it's all going to be worth it once the bell rings for Okada versus Omega. Yeah, I mean, that match is going to be excellent. I agree, but it's like that doesn't justify all the abysmal booking of Okada in the last year. Holding a championship that no one gives a fuck about, yeah, that match is going to be great, but once he loses, what after that? Like, what then? You know what I mean? Like, they have to really start pushing him as a main event attraction. And first and foremost,
too late for that, I think.
Maybe. I mean, he might be, he's like late 30s, so I think it's still possible. But I think moreover than anything, get him the fuck away from the Elite. I mean, that has done him way more harm than good. The Elite is, I mean, they drag almost anyone down who's involved with them. So he has to split away from them immediately. Noob also said Okada's winning, but my goodness, I thought Shinsuke's run in WWE was bad, but Okada's run in AEW is laughable. I mean, it's not a fair thing to compare the two. Shinsuke's been there for a decade. Okada's been there for a year. We have to revisit that in a few years from now. Okada's won a few belts, but it's not like, or Nakamura's won a few belts, but it's not like any of those reigns meant a damn. His U.S. title reigns, his IC title reigns were all fucking terrible, so I'll still take Okada over Nakamura most days out of the week. Johnny said Daniel Garcia on a pay-per-view, but not as TNT champion. He's not the TNT champion anymore. He actually lost the belt to Adam Cole. You would never know because they don't really talk about the TNT title anymore, but he's not the TNT champion.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, I honestly forgot until the other day. Grunt got FTR and Tony, by the way, for the win. I agree. Johnny's got Jamie Hayter. Grunt said Hayter. We're going Mercedes.
They don't know Mercedes Maivia. She ain't going. She ain't dropping the belt.
We got to come up with a nickname for Mercedes now. We got Rhea Maivia. We got Becky Belair. We got to come up with one for Mercedes. If you guys got a good nickname for Mercedes Sasha, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think of who. That doesn't work for me, sister. I mean, we can at least apply that one to Mercedes in matches, right? Doesn't work for her to be losing at this stage. She's got to win.
Yeah. Mercedes Copeland, Mercedes Moxley.
Mercedes McMahon? I mean, that sounds weird.
That sounds weird. I don't know. We'll let the chat. That's why you have the chat here.
Yeah,
they can
exactly.
come up with something.
Maybe the chat can give us some ideas. AEW is going to do more champion versus champion matches. They've done a lot of them already, so that wouldn't surprise me. And then Noob also said, I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné because this is not the Jamie Hayter I've seen before she came back from injury in that 70s look. Hollywood Mercedes. Yeah, that's a good one, Fernando. The Jamie Hayter thing, I will say this. She looks like a character out of Scooby-Doo. I'm not a fan of it. Most people aren't a fan of it. But the thing is, she said in an interview that she's like, oh, this is really who I am, and I want to bring myself to the show. And I'm like, maybe...
Yeah, but you're not the booker, so get over it.
This is bad, though. But
it's not good. It's not a good look for her.
I'm thinking maybe don't do that on the show. Like what we saw from you originally, maybe that's not you, but maybe be that person. You don't have to be yourself sometimes. I'm just saying, that's not great advice. But, Mercedes McMahon, Alexis said, yeah, I said that, but, we could do better than that. She also said F the Bucks. She fucking hates the Young Bucks.
Who doesn't?
You got to get her a Young Bucks shirt for her birthday or some shit. I mean, no, there's people that love. I mean, not that I hate the Bucks, but at this point, it's just they're channel changing material.
I got plans. I gotta go to Grunt to the big opening of Wooden Top.
That was before we hit live here. I'll tell her about that inside joke later on today. She's gonna get a good kick out of that. Grunt said, "Do you think it's possible Okada beats Omega?" Yeah, it's possible. I think Omega wins. I could see Okada winning. That would honestly probably be the better outcome.
Hope he doesn't beat him with that shitty clothesline finish he has.
He's always had that clothesline finish.
It's
the Rainmaker.
Terrible. That might be the worst finisher of all time.
It's the most.
The guy might be 200 pounds soaking wet, and he beats you with a clothesline that looks like shit.
He's got the wind up first. It's the Rainmaker.
Mine would look better than that.
Wow. Okada Rainmaker hater here. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are going to be in Jamie's corner. Yeah. I'm just not a fan of the look. I don't think most people are a fan of the look. Go back to the blonde hair. I don't know.
She just looked like a star before. I mean, she had like all the aura. I mean, I feel like
now, but
I don't know why you change it. It was a great look. I don't know.
Because this is who she is. She likes the counterculture shit. But guess what? Maybe don't be yourself. She's not over. No, she's still over, but she's not as over as she was before, to be fair. She's not remotely as over. She was very over originally. She's got to go back to whatever that was, find that spark again. Maybe we see that on Sunday.
Does she still have the same music at least?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, thankfully. That would have been dumb to change it.
What was that better, Jamie or Okada? JBL.
No, they said Jamie, not JBL. Or are you just saying JBL?
He said Jamie or Okada. Jamie Hayter has a good clothesline.
I'll go Jamie.
I dig it. Grunt, it's not a good look, bro.
What?
He said, I dig it. Fuck them haters with haters spelled as her name. It's not a good look.
The look for Jamie, yeah. I agree. Have you guys watched Tiger Mask versus the Rainmakers, a god tier finisher by Jap? I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea what you're talking about. Next match here, men's Owen Hart Cup finals. Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page. This should be my match of the weekend. I think this will be a great match. Winner also going on a challenge for the AEW World Championship at All In, probably against Jon Moxley. I doubt he loses it before then. Ospreay or Adam Page? Who goes over?
This is a tough one. I knew you were going to get to me.
Yep.
I think Ospreay should win.
Okay.
But I just feel like Tony has such a hard-on for Paige.
Paige is great, though.
He's going to win, and Paige is going to be the one to beat Moxley. I think it should be Ospreay. I mean, he's the guy. He's becoming more of a normal guy, but I think he should win. I'm going to stick with Ospreay. I don't know. I have like a little bit on my shoulder being like, Tony really wants Paige to be the one, like, to beat Moxley, but I'm going to go with Ospreay.
I'm going to go Ospreay too, for the sole reason that if Paige loses here, and I don't love this idea, but we've talked about this before, I think they're headed towards Paige and Swerve teaming up, putting their differences aside, to face the Young Bucks. Because they teased that at Dynasty. You have the most bewildered look on your face. I know.
Why?
Because I think that's how they utilize those guys on that show. I don't like it either, but I think that's what they're going to do.
But he burned his house down. You don't just move on from that.
I mean, maybe they expect it. Listen, can they coexist? It's a good story. They haven't done that before.
It just doesn't make any sense.
My point is that whether you like it or not, and I'm not saying I like it, I think they're going to do that match. If Will,
but like, who wants it? The thing, I guess, my thing is like, no one wants to see that match anyway. So why would you even go in that direction?
But
the Bucks are done. Who cares about them?
I agree, but I'm just saying, at least that match, I could see that. I'm not saying I like it.
Wasn't Swerve just the champion like fucking 6 months ago? Now he's teaming up with fucking Paige, who burned his house down, to face the Bucks. That sounds awful.
I love telling you about shit that because you don't watch AEW all that closely, so I love hearing your reactions firsthand. No, it does not make sense. You're right. But what I'm saying is, RJ said Grunt said he cares.
About what?
Swerve and Hangman becoming friends. I like the storyline. I think the storyline's great. They'll have to make it make sense.
You can't make that make sense. You burn someone's fucking house down and like kidnap their child, like, or like broke into his house. You won't just be like, you know what? I just want to be friends with you now. Like that's no.
My point is, I could see them doing that match. If Ospreay loses here, I don't know what match he would do with him, illogical or not. I don't know who else he faces at All In.
Yeah, but like I said, there's no. I just don't understand. Like I mean, I don't think it makes sense, but whatever.
Well, Adam Page, I will say, has shown more remorse for his actions.
Buy him a new house?
Swerve, the thing is, I don't know why Swerve would forgive him or would want to team with him. And I also don't give a fuck about the Bucks. If they faced like FTR, I would almost be more okay with it. But the Bucks always have to be involved in something of importance on this show, so therefore they're the opponents. That's just what it is.
But they're not important, so...
They're not important, but they want to be involved in something important. I think Ospreay wins here, though. I will say.
I think Ospreay wins, too.
Grunt said so is Swerve.
I don't know.
He's shown remorse.
Yeah, but...
He did burn his house down.
He did, yeah. I don't know. I
guess
I would just move on from that in real life.
I guess my point is, I could see them making up, maybe not at this stage, because it really hasn't been that long since the house burning.
But I guess, like, are the Bucks champions? So, like, why?
That's the other thing. Like, what do they gain out of teaming with each other? Nothing, because they're not champions. What'd you say?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, Swerve flat out said that he deserved to get his house burned down to Paige. Because Swerve was an asshole to Paige a year before that. So they have
I
done
get
both.
that.
They've both done bad things to each other.
It's still, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't care. The Bucks are terrible.
I do care. I just don't like the fact that the Bucks will be their opponents. That's my bigger problem. The fact that it doesn't make sense. I mean, they're gonna try to make
payoff though. That's what I don't get. There's no payoff.
Even if they win, when they will, where do you go from there?
Exactly.
That I agree with. Oh man.
Oh, we gotta get the Bucks on the card because it's all in. Whee! Flip your fucking cheekbone. Like, who cares?
Grunt also said earlier, Fernando has Ospreay winning. Grunt said, I mean, the haterade is just Kobashi's burning lariat, so of course it's great. I mean, yeah, Jimmy Hater's great in general. Alexis said, I think if she went back to her OG hair color and mixed her new style with her old style, it would work. It's too much going on, and she's not a redhead. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. That's not her natural hair color? I would imagine. I don't know.
I doubt the red hair is her natural hair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like a red. That's like a fucking bright ass, like Becky Lynch orange. Yeah. Yeah, maybe mix the two styles because the current 70s punk rock look isn't. I don't know. Not my cup of tea, but who am I? Will and Hangman going 40 minutes. That's fine with me. Show might be a long one, but yeah, I could see that. Hangman is Mr. AEW. He must win. He is Mr. AEW. Noob said Ospreay is winning, but I get the feeling that Hangman is teaming up with Swerve to beat the Bucks. Yeah, we mentioned that. I get that Page burned down Swerve's home, but this is good storytelling for the sake of plot. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Eric.
I mean, hey, if you enjoy it, I guess so.
I mean, yeah, I like the story, so I'm okay with that. It's just the fact they'd be facing the Bucks. I don't really give a fuck about that personally. I'd rather see Swerve go back after the belt, but that's just me. Eric Douglas, what's going on? Thanks for joining. He said, so Jamie Hayter 2-year story with Tony about the title gets shafted because she didn't main event Mania 4 years ago. I don't know what one has to do with the other. I have no idea what you're talking about. You had me and then you lost me in the second half. They gained the fact they helped save. Oh, you're talking about... He said they gain the fact that if Swerve and Hangman team up against the Bucks, what they benefit from is saving AEW. Saving AEW from what? The Bucks have done nothing. Their hostile takeover, the company failed. They pile drove the fucking owner, and it led nowhere. Tony Khan was back on the show within a month. There is no takeover of AEW. The Death Riders are terrible. The Elite is terrible. There is no takeover. They're not saving AEW from fucking anything. Why the fuck would they care anyway? Why wouldn't they want championships? That is my bigger question. Them teaming, I don't hate that as much as Mr. Marceau, especially if they make sense, which give it time, we'll see. Maybe he'll send him a fruit basket for apologizing for burning out his house. I mean, I would want that personally. I would need a gift card to Wooden Tap or fucking McDonald's or something like that personally, but, they need to make it make sense. Yeah, most people enjoy a redemption story. I agree, Maria. Johnny said, Hurt Syndicate versus Hangman and Swerve for the tag titles. I would much rather see that. Yeah, Fernando brought up KO and Sammy keep forgiving each other after all the horrible things they've done to one another, and why not Swerve and Hangman? Well, I mean, to be fair,
it's a totally different thing. KO and Sammy have like a legit real life friendship, and
they're real
not
life
burning
friends.
his house down either.
I don't. Yeah, that's kind
people. I guess people just don't care if the house gets burned down. If you just apologize, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, I guess, listen, I don't know if in real life, let me ask you a question, not you specifically, Mr. Marceau, but just hypothetically speaking here to the audience.
If you burn my house down, I would never talk to you ever again.
There you go. Why would you want to be friends or team up to save the company you work for? Who cares? That I don't care about. That doesn't make sense to me.
Save the company. I mean, yeah, whatever.
That justifies this person burning down your house? Come on. That's stupid. How many songs do you listen to from the 70s? Oh, I don't know. Any 70s picks there, Mr. Marceau? Any 70s songs that you like?
I'm more of an 80s guy. I'm more of an 80s guy.
Best decade for music right there, Mr. Marceau. That's the only right answer. And then last question here. Kenny Omega, or last match to predict. Last question for you. Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, speaking of him, the Ops, and Willow Nightingale versus the Death Riders and the Young Bucks in Anarchy in the Arena. Gabe Kidd is not involved. DT's getting involved. He got involved on Dynamite, but he's not in the match. I don't know why. That is Anarchy in the Arena this year. I don't like Anarchy in the Arena. They've done it now for fucking 5-6 years. I think it's garbage. People like it, though. The AEW audience, the diehards love it. That's totally fine. Not a fan myself, personally. But they have built it well. I think the heels win here. So who do you got, Mr. Marceau? Death Riders Bucks or the baby faces?
I guess I guess the Death Riders and the Bucks win. I would assume, because I mean, why not?
I mean, I think they'll put more heat on the heels by having them win, right? That would make sense.
I heard the Anarchy in the Arena is going to have cheese graters, weed whackers, and pizza cutters.
I hope so. Got to go all out, baby. I heard they might bring in Nick Gage, too, to help out combat Gabe Kidd on the other side of the ring. Not my cup of tea, personally.
Cup of tea is an understatement. It is just garbage. I don't know. I don't get people's obsession with it, but...
And they do it every year. I think it would also benefit, like with WWE and War Games, if they didn't do this stuff on the same show every year. They've headlined Double or Nothing with it almost every year for the last 3 or 4 years. Why not just do it on TV, or why not do it? I don't understand why it has to be Double or Nothing.
Don't do it. You just don't do it.
Yes, I mean I wouldn't do it either, but I'm just saying they follow the formula of usually the heels win a Double or Nothing, and then they do a rematch, Blood and Guts, and the baby faces win there. Maybe just don't fucking do it. Like, it's just formulaic booking. It's stupid. Like, they've been doing this now for 4 years. That's why I think it's... The match itself I don't like, but, I don't like the ECW stuff either, so that's just me. I just don't like that they do this, and then they do Blood and Guts a couple weeks later on TV, and then the opposite team that lost here will win that. But they've been doing that now for 4 years to the point where it's so predictable, and it's formulaic, lazy booking. It's like with WWE and War Games. It has to be at Survivor Series. Hell in a Cell. It has to be in October every year. They don't do that anymore, but... I wasn't a fan of it then either. Grunt said 2000s music for me. I was raised on WWE pay-per-view theme songs and SVR soundtracks. Me too. Johnny said Gabe and Hook might get involved. Yeah, Gabe will get involved. Hook, maybe. Grunt said Eddie Kingston. I would like to see Eddie Kingston back. We haven't seen him in about a year. Big Eddie Kingston guy. Anarchy in the Arena is a cluster beep. It's a cluster fuck. I'll fill in the
yes, I fill in the bleep.
I'll fill in the bleep for you, Maria. It's a cluster fuck. And Noob said, I hate Anarchy in the Arena matches, but I'm going with Death. It's so overstimulating, but it's just me. He said, but I'm going with the Death Riders and the Bucks are winning. I like Stadium Stampede. It was funny during the pandemic, but Anarchy in the Arena is too much. Yeah, I was more of a Stadium Stampede fan, but it's more of like a, novelty thing. Like, they did it once. That first one that they did was a lot of fun, but then they did it again, and then they did Anarchy, and they did another Anarchy, and they've done it like 3 or 4 times. Anarchy is too big for Dynamite and Collision. Disagree. I think you could do it on Dynamite. It's an arena. Stadium Stampede you have to do in a stadium per the title of the match, but Anarchy you could do on Dynamite in an arena. If they're doing 300 people on a Dynamite, which I joke about, they do many more people than that. They do 500. I'm just kidding. Like, they do at least a couple thousand at this point. You could do it on Dynamite. You don't have to do it at Double or Nothing. And then Grunt said, not even as big of a hater of the match as you guys, but yeah, they need to stop doing it at the same time every year. I agree. I think the baby faces win, but I could see Death Riders winning as well. Yeah, I could see this going either way. And then Maria also asked, do you think WWE are producing too many shows? Maria, check out our conversation about that.
Not enough, Maria.
What'd you say?
Not enough.
Not enough shows. That's what Mr. Marceau said last week. Saturday Night's Main Event, Battleground, Money in the Bank, Night of Champions. You want more.
I need more content. I don't think I have enough.
We spoke about that in depth on last week's show, so be sure to go back and check that out. Those are all the predictions for a pretty supersized edition of WrestleRant Radio here today. We talked about a lot. Thank you guys for checking out all of our predictions, picks, and previews for Saturday Night's Main Event, NXT Battleground, and Double or Nothing. We'll be back next week to talk about all of it, most of it. We'll see what happens next week here on the show and what we can get on into before Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is literally not next weekend, but the weekend after that. So this shit comes up quick. There's going to be a lot to talk about in the coming weeks because as Mr. Marceau said, more content, more content, more content. New episodes of WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday here on WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com. YouTube, of course, live via video every single Thursday around noon, Thursday morning, whatever. Also, check out the audio version on all your favorite podcast platforms later on in the day. And shout out to the channel members, Alexis, Miss Maud Matthews, Dillon DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve 1, Daniel Malcolm, Mr. Marceau himself, John Ritland, Richie, and Average Grunt. Thank you guys, as always. I appreciate it. Johnny said WWE made do 6 shows in 1 week in Connecticut. If they were in Connecticut, I would fucking be there. I'll be seated every week.
6 shows? I wish there were 7. I need one every day.
The road to All In begins next week, Grunt said. Yes, it does. I'm looking forward to All In. All In's been great the last couple of years, so I'm looking forward to that show.
They got 8,000 tickets for that show sold? Or?
No, there's more than that, I'm sure. It's in Texas. It's in Globe Life Field. Not as many as the first year, which was 90,
for
but
10,000?
Yeah. Mr. Marceau, Mr. NMA over here. But
I'm just they're more like RMA. I think it's more RMA. I'm not.
To be fair, you're not entirely wrong. No,
I might be underselling it a little bit, but it's. I mean, I think I'm in the ballpark range.
You're not drastically off, but I'd have to go back and check out those how many tickets they've moved since they put them on sale. Yes, I am looking forward to All In, though. We'll talk more about that as it gets closer. Mr. Marceau, any parting thoughts here with Pacers and Knicks coming up? You're looking forward to NASCAR on Sunday. A lot for you to look forward to this Memorial Day weekend, and Lilo and Stitch, but you're seeing that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm ready for Lilo and Stitch, and yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Marceau, love the Yeet shirt. Keep eating, brother. We'll be back next week here on the show, folks. Until then, have an awesome rest of your week. For Mr. Marceau, I'm Graham G. Matthews. We'll kick your ass down the road.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.